Hello, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special Papo de Teacher as part of the warm-up for our Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho. I'm teacher Fabi Montanari, and I'm here to help you improve your communication skills for you to communicate better in business settings, okay? So if you don't follow me yet, just start following me here. Subscribe to the channel so that you're going to receive new videos and you are going to be aware of everything that we are working on. Okay, the topic today I brought to talk to you is the power of storytelling to express your ideas. This is part of the warm-up for our main event that's going to happen in a few weeks, which is Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho. So during these classes of Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho, or SIPT, SIPT stands for Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho. Instead of me repeating all the time, Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho, I may repeat SIPT, so be aware of that, okay? So for these main classes of SIPT, we are going to understand the way you need to follow in order to accelerate your learning process so that you can communicate in your business context with more confidence, okay? And as the preparation for these main classes, we are having these talks about some important topics that I consider really important to help you be on the right track, okay? And storytelling, I think, is one of the most important points, because every time I see students saying, teacher, okay, I'm more or less intermediate, I can understand people speaking English, but I can't really speak in a clear way. And it's a problem for me every time I have to speak in English. And when I start interviewing these students and I start getting to know them during the program, what I feel is that this lack of clearness in communicating comes from this lack of comprehension of the power of storytelling. So first, we need to be on the same page, and I need you to understand what storytelling is. Storytelling is the ability to tell stories that connect, that have a message. And this is something that you need to think about, because, for example, let me get my this. Okay, I always use this as an example in classes, and this is for my son. Okay, but what I want you to understand is that imagine inside this pyramid there is the event, but you can tell the event. You can report the fact simply with the facts isolated, or you can tell a story that will help people get engaged in what you have to say. Because think with me, when you're talking about business English, and if you are requested to join a working group, a task force, or you are joining, you are going to start participating in a global project, it's because they see that you have the ability to solve problems or solve a conflict with your technical knowledge, okay? So imagine you are an engineer, you're a lawyer, you are an analyst, a logistics analyst, a supervisor or manager. So if you're joining a working group, it's because you have something that you know, or many things that you know, will help solve a problem. Because we are paid to solve problems. You get a job in a company in order to solve problems. Okay? So every time you need to speak something, you need to develop the view to solve a conflict or to avoid a conflict better. Not only to solve, but mainly to avoid problems and avoid conflicts. integrating teams and whatsoever. So in this case, when you're using English, if you need to use English for these moments, it means that you have to tell the facts and tell your ideas and share your view in a way to solve problems and avoid conflicts. Does it make sense? At the end of the day, if you look, all the conversations that you had today at work during your business hours, they were either to solve problems or to avoid conflicts. Am I right? So, and this is for everyday conversation. And also, when we are giving a presentation, for example, sometimes the students come to me and say, teacher, I need to get prepared for a very important presentation I have at work. How can I do that? So I understand that it's not only the use of grammar that we're looking for. You're also looking for a way to cause a good impression, to make it memorable. Your presentation needs to be memorable. And this is a challenge. So that's why I always say that if your problem was only vocabulary, for example, then okay, open a dictionary, memorize the dictionary. It would be simple, more simple. But speaking and communicating with confidence involves giving presentations that can be memorable and using your language skills to solve problems and avoid conflicts. Okay? So when I talk about this is the introduction to this topic, and we have a lot of more to do with that. But when we do this, we need to understand that to tell a story, we need to understand that there is a sequence of events or facts. We need to follow a logical order. We need to report events, and we need to organize first in our mind what comes first, and then what comes next, and then what comes next, and so on until the end. And what I see when we are having this conversation practices with the students is that in their mind, maybe it may be clear, but is it clear for the person who is listening to you? So how do you do that? First, you need to understand. So if you have problems telling a story, the first part is list all the facts or all the events you need to report. Just list it in a timeline. Get a timeline and list it. Okay? Organize this in a logical order first. Then, how can you report it? What are the most important facts that you need to report? What are they? Identify them. Get a paper. I think paper works perfectly. Like a blank paper, blank piece of paper, and draw it. What are the facts? What's the timeline? How uh, you can report these events, and then write sentences reporting these events. And this ability to write sentences will depend on your level of English nowadays, your current level of English. How is that? Um, if you are, for example, when we talk about levels of English, we have from A1 to C2, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Okay? If you are, the, the closer you are to the start of the learning process, the more A1 you are, it's more the only way possible is that you are going to report isolated sentences, short sentences for concrete needs, concrete events, concrete facts. So maybe you put these sentences uh, uh, isolated from each other. And uh, during your evolution in this process, you're going to be able to create longer statements, longer thoughts, and connect them in one sentence instead of having several shorter sentences. For example, let me. I got this example here that I had with some students this week. Two sentences, short sentences. I'm busy, but I can help you for 1 hour. Imagine you need someone's help at work and say, hey, Fabi, can you help me? Then I can say, if my English is very basic, mm, I'm busy, but I can help you for 1 hour. Okay. What is a more fluent and natural way to communicate that? Even though this way works, if you say, I'm busy, but I can help you for 1 hour, it would be okay. But there is another way for us to say the same thing. For example, okay, my dearest, although I'm busy, I can help you for 1 hour now. Okay, let's work on this. So this, did you understand the difference from I'm busy, but I can help you for 1 hour, or although I'm busy, I can help you for 1 hour? And this is what you have to look for. How to move from this to this. How you're going to do that? With practice, with the right guidance, and the right and pointing out what's more important for you now. And that's what I've been doing in the method. That's why the method uh, was developed, to help you understand what's more important now. Do you know now, right now, if you had to tell a story, what your biggest problem is, or your main difficulties? What are your main difficulties right now? Probably you don't know that yet. So once you have someone pointing out to you that you have these problems, then your life will be easier. Learning English to communicate at work won't be so heavy as it may be for you right now. Yeah? So this is a way that you have to move. Considering these levels of English are small steps into your bigger goal, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, then because of that, you need to understand in which step you are right now and what is necessary for you to move from this step to the next one. I don't want to teach you another English class. I don't want to teach you another grammar point. If it's grammar point, okay, you can open. You have many tutorials on YouTube or on internet. You have many tutorials on Google. Just Google it. Oh, I need to learn simple present. If this is your problem, then it's easy. If you know that simple present is your problem, then you should go now and type and find many available documents or tutorials that will teach you simple present. But the chances are that you don't know if simple present is your problem. Simple present was a problem when you were at school ages, you were a child or a teenager, and at school ages you needed to the content for the next test was simple present. So then you needed to study it to not to fail in your final test and get approved for the next semester or for the next year, school year. Now you don't need to learn simple present anymore. You just need to learn how to go to a meeting and express your ideas. It's totally different. Even though that for you to have a logical order, simple present will be somehow important. So you need to know simple present in order to tell a story in a logical way. But I don't want you to teach you simple present unless it's necessary, unless I feel that You have no idea what simple present is. Then we're going to work on that because it's part of a bigger plan. Understand? Uh, and why do you have these difficulties now? I have taken notes here in my notebook. I'm old school, okay? I always write down. And why this may be so difficult for you? If by now you can be here. I have been talking here with you for 15 minutes right now. And maybe you say, oh, when Fabi says that, it seems easy. But okay, why is it so difficult for me? It doesn't make sense. It may make sense if you understand that not everybody, and maybe you is one of these people, that didn't have the right preparation even in your mother tongue, even in Portuguese. Some people have difficulties to tell stories in Portuguese. And maybe you have these gaps in your education process. And you are pushing hard on yourself because you don't know that. You are trying, and you are trying to reach a higher level in communicating in English when you don't have that in Portuguese. Maybe, maybe. I'm not saying that this is the problem, but for some people, I feel that's the problem. You don't really get the whole idea of the process of creating a story. If you think, and this is really powerful, if you think that a good, if you have participated in a lecture or in a presentation in your company, sometimes when we watch a lecture, we get involved by the topic, by the way the presenter uh, put the information, share the information. And why is that? Because he's using the right techniques to tell his stories. He's using strategies to get involved and engaged. And if you want to succeed in your communication, and if you want to, for example, you need to sell an idea for a new client, you need to close a deal. The client, the possible future client, needs to buy your idea. So you need to make it memorable. You need to create a story in a logical way that will make the other part get engaged. And if you imagine you are selling the idea of a new project to the leadership of your company, you want to implement a new project, you want to develop a new software, and you need budget for that. So how are you going to bring this budget to your department, to your team? Or you need more people, for example, to reach a bigger goal. And so more people for the company means more money invested. So how are you going to sell this idea to the person who needs to pay for that? So this is more than using English or understanding grammar. Grammar is part of the process, but not the main part. Developing language skills is a bigger part. And I think this should be your goal. Developing language skills, developing communication skills in a foreign language. Okay? So far, I think you understood. Of course, inside the course, inside the program, we have classes related to that. But my objective today was to bring this idea to you. You are going to see more things about this during Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho, or SIPT. We're going to start soon, in a few days. Get connected on our WhatsApp groups, on your email. Check your emails because you are going to receive emails about that. Make sure you are going to watch all the classes the moment they are released. Take notes of everything that you have questions about, And then you're going to have a moment to share these questions with me. Okay? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about 5 ways to improve your business English communication. I'm going to bring this to you tomorrow. And that's it for today. If you have any questions, just put here in the comments. If you liked the video, if this makes sense for you, please just click on the like button here, because it helps me a lot to understand that what I bring here is helping you understand the way you are going to reach this confidence in your communication in English. Okay? So that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow again. Bye. See you.